wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere, and I am filled with joy profound. In a world where many miracles abound, in the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere, and I am filled with joy profound. In a world where many miracles abound, in the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. 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 All is well.
So first, I got a text message from Colleen this morning at 6:30 that the moving truck was arriving in the next 5 minutes. So we know that and they got there Friday. So she and her sister are there. And so I want to do a shout out to Colleen.
Yay, Colleen.
Hello,
Hello.
Colleen and Vicki. Glad to have you with us, even in distance. So also, the flowers and such that you see around are from the memorial service that we did yesterday for Kathy DeVoy. And so we proved this place can hold over 200 people. So we had over 200 people here, and every space was filled with chairs and such, and it was a beautiful service. And Denise and Larry and Martha were all here helping me with tech and music and setup, and so I'm grateful for our community, and we send our blessings to Kathy DeVoy and on her journey and her family. So, as an affirmation for peace in the Middle East, and in solidarity with our Muslim and Jewish brothers and sisters, all of us people of the book, we greet one another. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Peace be upon you.
And upon you peace.
Shalom.
Alaikum shalom.
So good morning.
Good morning.
As most of you know, I'm Reverend Vicki Elder, and it is my joy and honor to welcome you to Unity of Monterey Bay, a beloved community co-created with love and intention that welcomes all people, all races, nationalities, cultures, and religions, whatever your immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, and or abilities. Whether you're here with us in person or joining us virtually, we know that love has no boundaries. We are one in spirit. As a purpose-driven church, Unity of Monterey Bay is an inclusive spiritual community committed to co-creating an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, socially just, and compassionate human presence on this planet. We celebrate our oneness and honor the God of each of our understanding, affirming the innate good and divine essence within each and every individual. Would you please join me in our statement of faith? There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, expressing as infinite God beyond us, intimate God beside us, inner God being us, divine love in action. And now let's take this affirmation of truth even deeper into our hearts and minds in prayer as we join in holding all those people in war zones, domestic and foreign, and our world in our hearts with this prayer for hard times by Christian Schmidt. Spirit of life and love, be with us in this time as people suffer, as parents grieve, as violence rages. Be with us who feel the pain of loss, who feel anger at injustice. Stand with the oppressed and change the heart of the oppressor, for we know that both are joined in their humanity, no matter how often we forget it. Help us remember the hope we had, the hope we have, and the hope we will have. Help us remember joy in the midst of sadness, success in the midst of challenge, and good things in the midst of bad. Help us be better people, to work for better things, and to create a better world. Amen and amen. And let us all affirm together, thank you, God, for this most amazing day. Miracle follows miracle, and wonders never cease. And in this spirit of miracles, we celebrate our children, those in our spiritual community, those in our families, those in the broader community, all the children of the world. We hold them in our hearts, and we see them protected and resilient, creative and evolving, joyous and loved, as we join in our heartfelt blessing, including for our inner child. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, just the way you are.
This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Now taking a deep breath in and letting it out with an audible sigh, we center ourselves to embrace this blissful interconnection with Spirit and invite the chime to call us into this sacred space within. We ring the chime 4 times to call in the 4 directions and remind us of our interconnection with all of creation and the sacred circle of life. As we feel it resonate through our very beings, we follow its call into this now present moment within. Continuing to focus on our breath, with each inhale, we open our hearts and minds. We envision our breath reaching every cell of our being. And with each exhale, we see all barriers and obstacles dissolving into the divine flow. Again, as we inhale, we expand the spaciousness within us. We move beyond the limitations and boundaries of our bodies. And as we exhale, we ground ourselves deep within Mother Earth and into our oneness with the universe. Finally, we breathe our awareness into the highest expression of love, light, joy, and peace we can imagine, as we experience a transforming wave of gratitude. And with a fullness of heart, we say yes to it all, embracing, claiming, and knowing the divine Christ Spirit expressing in, through, and as us. And with a final exhale, we say, thank you, God. Now fully centered and transformed by the power of Spirit, we enter into our lesson and meditation time with today's daily word.
In witness to the wisdom of the many paths to the sacred, we read from 3 sacred traditions on this morning's topic, cultivating our spiritual gifts. From Jainism, birth does not lead to greatness. but cultivation of numerous virtues by a person leads to greatness. It is a pearl that possesses real greatness and not the pair of shells in which it is produced. From Buddhism, the domain of voidness, yet where one cultivates all types of virtues, such is the domain of the Bodhisattva. From Christianity, for this very reason, make every effort to add to your faith goodness, and to goodness knowledge, and to knowledge self-control, and to self-control perseverance, and to perseverance godliness, and to godliness mutual affection, and to mutual affection love. 1 Peter 1, 5 through 7.
I am that I am has brought me to this now moment. Here I am. I am that I am has brought me to this now moment. Here I am to be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. To be the voice and to be the heart through which heaven is made known on earth. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am.
And now we read from the Daily Word, shared with permission of Unity, publisher of Daily Word. They can also be found at dailyword.com. And the word is energetic. I invite you to allow my words to be your words. The limitless energy of spirit flows through me. I smile as I watch children at play. Their boundless energy seems so natural and so effortless. When I want to reclaim this same zeal and enthusiasm for myself, I remember these divine gifts are already within me. Centered in this awareness, I feel renewed vitality. As I take care of my family, move through my workday, enjoy time with dear ones, or volunteer in my community, I engage in all with enthusiasm and feel my energy build. If I feel my enthusiasm faltering, I don't despair. Instead, I pause for a moment to feel the quickening energy of spirit, the divine life and strength that are flowing through me. As I am revitalized, the world feels new. I shimmer with energy and go about doing all that I feel called to do. And from scriptures, may you be made strong with all the strength that comes from his glorious power. Colossians 1:11.
Spirit, we are beautiful. Spirit, we are beautiful. Here in the light We are beautiful. Spirit, we are powerful. Spirit, we are powerful. Trusting in the mind that guides us. We are powerful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Thank you for the life that sustains us. We are bountiful. Spirit, we are beautiful. Spirit, we are beautiful. Here in the light that surrounds us, we are beautiful. Spirit, we are powerful. Spirit, we are powerful. Trusting in the mind that guides us. We are powerful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Spirit, we are bountiful. Thank you for the life that sustains us. We are bountiful. Spirit,
Beautiful,
Spirit,
powerful,
Spirit,
beautiful,
Spirit,
bountiful,
Spirit,
beautiful,
Spirit,
powerful,
Spirit,
beautiful,
Spirit,
bountiful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How beautiful are these flowers? From the memorial yesterday. When you get a chance, you have to check them out because they have these flowers that they look like cabbages. I'm wondering if they're edible. No. See these? They look like little cabbages. Oh, okay. Am I a little loud? I just thought they were so beautiful. Y'all awake this morning? Yeah? Okay, good. Last week, I gave an overview of Unity's affirmative prayer practice using the book Discover Your Divinity, which we are also studying in our Thursday class that began this past week. So last week, we reviewed the foundational beliefs that underlie the affirmative prayer practice. And these beliefs actually correspond to our first, second, and third basic unity principles. So the first principle, of course, is that there is only one power and one presence in the universe, God the Good. And we talked about how God, this sort of source of all attributes, really, has certain attributes that we often call divine principles or truth principles. And you will sometimes hear them called divine ideas. And these divine ideas or principles, the thing about them is they are absolute. They are unchanging and they have no opposite. They're things like life, love, faith, strength, understanding, and wisdom. Now, our second, do I sound weird to you guys? No, you're not hearing that? Okay, I'm just hearing it. It's like a tinny kind of sound in my ear. Okay, all right, we'll ignore it then. Our second principle tells us that we humans, and actually all of creation, are expressions of God, and therefore we are also divine. And as divine beings, we also have, at our essence, those same spiritual principles or attributes that God has. And these spiritual attributes are part of our essential nature. They are part of our divinity. But because we are we are spiritual beings having a human experience. See, I can't even get it right. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. That is, we are spiritual beings living for a time as incarnated humans. These attributes are somewhat latent in us. So they're there, but they're latent. They exist in us as potential attributes, and they are part of our divine nature, our spiritual nature. But in the human part of us, they may be largely undeveloped or underdeveloped in us. Another way to say this is that we are always using these powers, these attributes, but we may not be using them as effectively as we could be. Actually, that goes for all spiritual principles, right? We're using them whether we like. It's not like, oh, I'm going to use spiritual principles. We're already using them. We're just not using them very well, perhaps. And so we can grow spiritually and create a richer, more joyful, and more abundant life by intentionally becoming aware of these principles, that they are part of our essential nature, and then cultivating them by strengthening and developing them in ourselves so that we're able to use them more effectively as spiritual beings having a human experience. This process of realizing and claiming these attributes is a form of discovering and claiming our own divinity. That's why the book is called Discover Your Divinity. So as you're discovering these attributes in yourself, what you're uncovering is your own divinity. And as we become aware of these attributes as being our true nature, we can live more fully into our true nature as divine beings. Remember, we say that we are 100% human and 100% divine at the same time. It's a good trick, party trick. Our third principle, of course, states that our lives are largely shaped by our consciousness. So if we want to change our lives, the circumstances, our relationships, our level of prosperity and joy and peace, we need to change at the level of mind. So we change at the level of mind or consciousness by cultivating these innate powers so that we're able to use them in a more skillful and helpful way to improve our lives. Another way of saying this is that we are growing our consciousness to include a greater and greater awareness of our own divinity. Okay? We're learning to better align our human selves with our spiritual selves. So these divine spiritual principles or attributes that make up our essential nature, our true nature as spiritual beings, they were put together by our co-founder Charles Fillmore into a system that he called the 12 powers. So I thought it might be helpful today for us to talk about the 12 powers, which is a classical unity teaching, but we sometimes, go months or even years without really talking much about it. We may reference it here and there, but we have some newer folks, and so I thought it would be a good time for us to go through this. And also because those of us that are in the prayer class and anyone who bought the book and is studying at home, we will be calling on these powers in our affirmative prayer practice. Okay, so we need to understand what they are so that we can use them effectively in that affirmative prayer practice. So some of you who are new to Unity may not have even heard of the 12 powers, and if you're not new to Unity, this will serve always as a good refresher, right? But Charles Fillmore, he actually developed a very comprehensive and detailed system in which each of the 12 powers correspond to a color, to a location in the body, and as if that wasn't enough, he lined each one of them up with one of the disciples as well. Okay? Now, 12, you probably noticed that that's a number we hear frequently, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 disciples, the 12 apostles. There's probably other things. This is a number that in the Bible was used to indicate completion or fullness, okay? And so for each power corresponding to a disciple, the idea is that that disciple, however he shows up in the Gospels, is supposed to be an example, an exemplar of that power. So an example of effective, skillful use of that power. Now, some people find this more or less helpful. But Fillmore liked to be thorough, right? And he liked the symmetry of the 12 disciples and the 12 powers. So take from it what you will. Now, it's important to understand going into this that these are just made up. You know what I'm saying? Like there could have been 13, there could have been 11, there could have been 15, right? There's nothing like magical about this, but this is someone's construct, this system that he created to help us. And so it's meant to be a working system that's usable, that's user-friendly. Now, Fillmore was very grounded in Christianity, but he did also study other religions. He studied Eastern religions and such, and he was influenced by them. So we see, for example, with locating each one of the powers in the body, it's sort of reminiscent of the chakras that are part of the Hindu teachings. They don't line up exactly, but you can see the influence of that idea in his 12 powers. Okay, so let's talk about these locations in the body. So Fillmore taught that these locations were power centers in the body. I think in one place it says they're areas of aggregated cells. He used really interesting language. Sort of areas where a lot of nerves came together. And where he believed that these different powers, or these different, you could even say aspects of intelligence, where they were located in the body. So we know now from modern medicine that intelligence in the body is not limited to the brain, right? We know that intelligence is spread throughout the body, and that, for example, the heart actually has its own intelligence. So in this way, you can see that Fillmore was really ahead of his time, as he was with a lot of things. And I believe, Vicki can tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that it turns out that a lot of these areas that he chose as sort of nerve centers, that they actually are areas where a lot of nerves come together. So it's not 100% scientific, and you have to remember this was happening in the early 1900s when we didn't... It was intuitive, yeah. But what I'm saying is that a lot of it was actually pretty spot on. So again, this is Fillmore's invention, but it is based on a lot of different things that he studied, and he had this intuitive ability to know these things that, modern medicine at that time had not even discovered. And he pulled ideas from different traditions and then applied them to the Christianity that was the foundation of his own faith. So the 12 powers have been applied to other systems as well. I came across some interesting things. I found a whole system where they have been lined up with the 12 steps, which is really interesting. And then I've seen them aligned with the 12 months of the year, almost like a horoscope or something. And there's probably others. I've never been really that sort of into the 12 powers myself, but I know that a lot of people in Unity find this whole system very useful. And I especially wanted the newcomers to have a chance to learn this stuff. And you can determine for yourself whether it's useful or not. All right, so we have these 12 powers. And Fillmore believed that together these powers make up our Christ consciousness, and that they provide a link that connects us with spirit. Okay? And these talents or attributes or gifts are fundamental to us, and they are aspects of our divine nature. Now, he also taught that they were creative powers, meaning they are generative. We can use them to create, to manifest, to bring forth into the material realm. So again, these are innate powers that we all have, whether we like it or not. They are just part of our nature, but they are latent in us, meaning that they are not well developed. And as I said a minute ago, we're always using them. We just may not be using them as skillfully or helpfully as we could be. So by developing these capacities, we can grow spiritually, and we can learn to use these things in our lives. Also, as we saw with the affirmative prayer practice that we talked about last week and that we're studying in our Thursday class, we cultivate these powers by claiming them. Okay? If you recall, there was a phase in that 5-step prayer flow process. I integrate. And that is the step in which we focus on whatever power we believe that we need or that's going to help us with whatever our prayer concern is, and then we claim it for ourselves by using these I am statements. Can you go back one to the, oh, you know what? I meant to switch them. Go one more, that one, go to that one just for a second. Okay, yeah, forgot I meant to switch those two. Poor Kay, she's just like, what's happening? What happened? Oh, Vicky went to this class where she learned how to do all these things, and she loves to put these little, like the thing flies away like a little origami swan or something. I can't get it to do any of those things. Okay, now, where was I? So we claim these powers by using I am statements. So you can see I've put I am, and then I've listed the 12 powers. Okay, but I believe that in order to make those I am statements more effective or make them really work for us, in order to claim these attributes for ourselves, we need to understand them. We got to know what they are. So that's what we're going to do today. And you can go back to the one with the body and all the... Yeah, that one. That's like the official Unity graphic. I stole it. I hope it's okay. I stole it. So just to list them, and I haven't figured out what the official order of them is. They come in all different orders. And also you'll notice that sometimes the words are different. I'll try to point that out where I remember, but everybody has different words that they prefer. So the 12 powers are wisdom, love, strength, faith, imagination, order, understanding, will, power, zeal, release, and life. So we're going to go through each one, but the graphic will help you visualize each power and the color that corresponds to it, as well as where it's located in the body as I go through them. Now, just to let you know, this information I drew from a number of sources, but in your book, if you've purchased this book, there is a section at the back that they recommend you mark, and as you can see, I have it marked. Wait a minute. So it's actually on page 106, affirming the 12 powers as principle, and then they list them all with descriptions. Okay, so don't, you can get them here. You can also look up on unity.org and just put in 12 powers, and you'll get all kinds of stuff. So I drew from both of those. What's that? And Truth Unity, yeah. And Vicki gave you a handout. Okay, I might as well just talk about that right now. So this was created many years ago, right?
When we did the series.
Yeah, which was way back.
Yes. And Larry
24, 5 years ago.
that secured each one of the stones.
Larry did?
Oh, right. Right here, Larry.
Oh, Larry Daniels. Okay. Okay, cool. So they're stones that list each one of the powers, and they are located, it's like a little scavenger hunt. They're located all around our campus. And you can, I was so glad because I was trying to create I was trying to create a handout for you, and it was getting too crazy, but I was trying to do tables, and I'm not that skilled. So I was very happy when I came in this morning and Vicki had that. So you could actually use it as like a prayer process or a meditative process. You could go around and meditate on each one. So that's what that is for. Okay, so we're going to be going clockwise through the graphic, starting with faith. Okay? So faith is the ability to believe, intuit, and perceive. Okay? Faith is the power to look beyond appearances to find truth, to trust what has not yet appeared. I love that. It's the power of expectancy, like expect a miracle, right? Expect good, to prepare for the fulfillment of my heart's desires. Okay, the corresponding color is royal blue, and this is located in the center of the brain. It's represented by the disciple Peter, and Peter represents faith in things spiritual, faith in God. Okay, then each one of the powers, I found both an affirmation and a sort of, I don't know what to call it, like a little saying. And I love these because this can help you sort of get the gist of it. So the little saying is, release limiting thoughts and imagine something greater. Okay? Huh?
It's like our affirmation for this month.
Oh, cool. Yeah, lines up. Well, see, there you go, how usual. And then the affirmation for faith, and this may be different than the one you have on the sheet. This came off of the unity.org website. Faith blesses my day and paves my way. Okay? All right, we have 12 of these to go through, so let's move quickly. The next one is understanding, which is defined as the ability to know, perceive, and apprehend. The power of comprehension and realization, the ability to make sense of my experience and to learn from my life, the ability to realize my own identity. Okay, so understanding is kind of like that realization that we're practicing in that affirmative prayer practice. The color that corresponds to understanding is gold, and this power center is located at the front of the brain. The disciple is Thomas, and he represents the ability to see beyond appearances to reality. Okay, and then the sort of little saying, take what you've learned and put it all together. I like that. And then the affirmation for understanding is, my understanding of truth deepens and directs my life. Okay? The next one is will. Now, we talked about this a little in our class, not to be confused with willpower. Okay? Because willpower sort of tends to have a connotation of like, we're using it to try to not do something that we're not supposed to do, right? Or something like that. This is a little different. This is will, meaning the ability to choose, to lead, and to decide. Okay? It's the power of choice, the ability to say yes to what is most important to us, to fulfill a promise to ourselves and to follow through, and to recommit ourselves anytime we have failed to fulfill that promise. The corresponding color for will is silver, and the location is in the front of the brain. Wait, that's what it said for understanding. They both are? Oh, there we go. Okay. Really? How can we fit all that in the front of our brain? There's a lot happening up there. So this one, will, corresponds to the disciple Matthew, and he represents the decision-making part of the brain. So do you see how that's a little different from willpower? Will. You know what a good word for will is? It's our agency, right? Yeah. Our ability to act. And the saying is, use your will for life-affirming choices. And the affirmation is, I choose my good based on spiritual understanding. Okay, this is a fun one, imagination. This is the ability to conceptualize and envision a different future. It's that part of us that can vision something better, right? It's a visioning and conceiving power, the ability to catch hold of divine ideas and to shape a mental image of our desired reality. Okay? So again, this is the part of us that can imagine, that can vision the things that we want, the world that we want. When we vision that world that works for all, that's that power of imagination. If we didn't have that, we would just say, well, this is just the way it is. And we wouldn't have that ability to envision something better. So the corresponding color is light blue, and imagination is located between the eyes. So this sort of roughly correlates with the third eye of esoteric and Eastern teachings. The disciple is Bartholomew, and he represents positive thoughts held in mind. And the saying is, release limiting thoughts and imagine something greater. And the affirmation is, I imagine good unfolding in every area of my life. Okay, so that is a very important power. The next one is the power of power, also called dominion. So you may hear it called one or the other of those. And it's defined as self-mastery and spiritual presence. It's described as the ability to concentrate, to discipline our thoughts and guard our reactions, to focus our attention on what's most important. And it's also the power to know when to speak up and when to stay quiet. That's a good power. Mental note, no. Also, the power to tell the truth to myself and others. Okay, the corresponding color is purple, and this is located in the throat. So, power, that's our ability to speak, right? To speak things into the space, right? Into reality. The disciple is Philip, and he represents power over our thoughts and feelings. So the saying is, use power to release good into the world. And the affirmation is, I have the power to create my world. Okay? If any of these doesn't make sense, stop me. I can take questions from the audience. All right, the next one is wisdom, which is also sometimes called judgment. Okay? Wisdom is the blend of knowledge from the head and heart, and possibly other parts of the body that we're starting to learn have wisdom and intelligence also. It's described as the power of discernment, the ability to evaluate options and make sound choices. Again, or also the power of intuition, to trust and follow my inner sense of direction. Okay, the corresponding color is yellow, and this is located at the pit of the stomach. So that's where we tend to think of intuition being located, right? So you can see that these, they're not random. These things really line up. They make sense. This is where we get that intuition, that deep knowing, right, in the pit of the stomach. Yeah. The disciple is James, son of Zebedee, and the saying is, follow Jesus' wisdom for making right judgments. And then the affirmation is, I am guided by divine wisdom in every thought, word, and action. Okay? The next one is order. This is the intelligence of the universe expressing through, it says each of us, but I'm going to say expressing through all of creation, right? Because that's where we see that divine order. And it's described as the power of organization, the ability to put our thoughts and actions in order, to move from thought to action in an orderly flow, and to change our actions when circumstances change. The corresponding color is deep green, and this is located in the navel. That's sort of interesting. I don't know why, but I'm sure we could learn more about why it's located there. The disciple is James, the other James, son of Alphaeus, and he represents the harmony and balance available through centering our awareness. The saying is, grow in order by cooperating with spiritual law. And the affirmation is, my life is balanced and in order, and all is well. Okay, the next one is life, the power of life, the ability to energize and animate. It's described as the power of vitality and presence. It's an animating power. It's the ability to give life to our dreams and our intentions, and to shine the light in every circumstance and be a compassionate presence. I love that. The corresponding color is red, and this is located in the reproductive organs. That makes sense, where life begins, right? And the disciple is Judas. He represents the cleansing of selfishness, allowing the life force to flow to every part of the body. Yeah. Make it work, right? The saying is, let your divine life shine. And the affirmation is, I am filled with life, sweet life. Okay, the next one is release, also called elimination, also called renunciation, also called purity. So you're getting the idea. This is our ability to let go. It's sometimes called negation, renunciation, or purity. This is a cleansing power. Okay? It's the ability to say no to the false and yes to the truth. So we talk a lot about affirmations and affirming what we want. This is the power to disaffirm, to negate, to renunciate, to eliminate and release that which we don't want, that which no longer serves us. So this is a very important power. It's the ability to repent, which, remember, means to turn or to turn around, and to start again when necessary. The corresponding color is russet. Isn't that like an orangish red? Russet. You know how I know? Crayola. Remember that? Like 118 colors or whatever? Russet. Okay. And this is located in the abdominal region. The disciple that corresponds is Thaddeus, and he represents the expulsion of negative thinking. So this is the power that allows us to correct our error thought. Error thought is fancy unity speak for false beliefs, those things that we have bought into that are not the truth and that really create a lot of havoc for us, right? You know the things I'm talking about. I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough. You know, all those really deep-seated things. The world is a dangerous place. There's never enough for me. All of those, what we call error thought. They're things that are not true, but we tend to believe them, and they can be really deep in there. Sometimes take some real excavating to find them underneath there because we've layered all kinds of stuff on top of them. But when we can start to root those things out, then we can replace them with more positive things. So these things go together. We've got to root out that which is not true in order to incorporate and claim that which is true. So the saying is, let go of what no longer serves you. And the affirmation is, I release anything and everything that no longer serves my unfolding good. All right, the next one is strength. The ability to endure, stay the course, and persevere. And it's described as the stabilizing power that allows us to stand steady in truth during changing circumstances. So, steadfastness, groundedness, maybe, centeredness, the ability to stay the course, to keep going forward. It also encompasses courage, the ability to take healthy risks and to advocate for myself and others. The corresponding color is light green, and this is located in the small of the back. That's interesting, where I have a herniated disc. What does that mean? But that is where our power is located. The disciple that corresponds to this is Andrew, and he represents the ability that lies at the foundation of every true character. The saying is, relax into the power of your strength. And the affirmation is, I have the strength to accomplish all that is mine to do. Okay, we only have two more, people. Hang in there with me. This is a fun one, love. Remember I talked a few weeks ago about differentiating between personal, ego-based love and universal or sort of agape love? So this power, we're talking about that agape love, right? The ability to attract, desire, and unify. A magnetizing, unifying, and harmonizing power. The ability to harmonize my thoughts, words, and actions, and to behold the divine in myself and others. Okay, it's sort of a different way of thinking of love. We think of love as a feeling, but here it's saying love is truly the ability to behold the divine in someone else. So when we see the divine in someone else, that is love. That's loving them. That's that agape love. Of course, the color is pink, and this is located in the heart. The corresponding disciple is John, the beloved, and he represents unconditional acceptance and forgiveness. What I like about this power of love is that they don't talk about it being, a feeling. They talk about it being a harmonizing power. And if you remember, I said that I didn't get that for a long time until I had that experience of being in nature and seeing the harmony and the synchronicity and the complexity and the way everything was working together in nature, and that I had this aha moment that only love could create something like that and could hold something like that in the balance. That was my sort of aha of how love is this harmonizing power. The saying is, don't misunderstand love. So that goes along with what I was saying. Don't forget that love is not a feeling. That's popular love. That's not universal agape, ego-less love. And the affirmation is, I am a center of love. And finally, the final one is zeal. Apparently, zeal was a more popular word in the early 1900s than it is now. You say zeal now, and the kiddos are looking it up on their phone, right? And what the heck is zeal? Well, this says that zeal is the inner flame that burns brightly for all to see. And it's described as enthusiasm, audacity, and devotion. I love that. It's the ability to take bold action, to celebrate moments each day, to devote our time and energy to our purpose. The disciple is Simon the Canaanite, and he represents motivation and the desire to accomplish great things. And the corresponding color is orange. That feels right. Orange is sort of that, energetic color. And this is located in the back of the head. Is that funny?
Giants, she said. Orange.
Oh. God had it all planned. know God's a Giants fan. Come on now. The saying for zeal is be filled with spiritual enthusiasm. And the affirmation is, I enthusiastically accept my good and go forward to achieve my purpose. Whew. Okay, that was a lot of powers. And if you start to think about these powers, you may realize that you are using some of them more effectively than others. Does that occur to you? Do you go, oh yeah, I'm pretty good at that love one, but maybe not so good at some of the other ones? So if I were a power, what power would I be? Anyone? Anyone? All 12. Really? You guys can't guess which power I relate most to? Zeal. I'm just a zeal-y kind of gal. That is my favorite power. And it's one that comes quite naturally to me. So that's one that, I don't think I really need to work a lot at strengthening that one. That one's well developed in me, okay? And we all have those ones that come more naturally to us. Now, order, doesn't come quite as naturally to me, at least not anymore. And so I could probably stand to work on cultivating my power of order so that I can use that power more skillfully in my life. Okay? And so you can start to think about this, which ones which ones are real natural for you and which ones you might want to work more on. Okay, so order not so much, but zeal I've got. And so I'm going to leave you today with one of my favorite Unity quotes, which just so happens to be about zeal. You've probably heard this before. After I finish this, we're going to go into a 12 powers meditation. Okay, it's going to be a little bit longer meditation than normal. You may have heard this before. You probably have. But just to remind you that our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, wrote this or said this at the ripe old age of 94. And it's a powerful example of how we can affirm and claim these powers for ourselves. So, at 94 years old, Charles Fillmore said, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me. What more do you want than that? So let's go forth and try to sizzle with zeal. Can you sizzle for me? All right, so we're going to move into our meditation time now.
Spirit within, carry me. Spirit within, carry me home. Spirit within, carry me home to the one. Spirit within, carry me. Spirit within, carry me home. Spirit within, carry me home to the one.
So just preparing now for some time of meditation and getting comfortable in your seat. Bringing an awareness into your body so that you can really feel your body sitting there in the pew, the way that you are supported by the pew beneath you. Perhaps, if it's comfortable, your feet planted firmly on the floor. Let's take a deep breath in together and let it out with that sigh. This tells our nervous system that it's okay to relax. So let's do one more together, breathing in And sighing it out. Breathing is a wonderful way to prepare for meditation and to practice that first step in the prayer flow, which is to open. So if you can imagine your body relaxing and just say to yourself, I open to new awarenesses. I am open to learn and to grow. And so I'm going to go through each of the 12 powers, and I'm going to say the color that corresponds to it and the location of that power center in the body. And so as I do that, I invite you to imagine a light of that color beginning to glow in that particular area of your body. So we're going to be imagining those power centers activating with the light of that particular color, and this will help you to activate these 12 powers in your body as we go through them. So we begin with the affirmation. There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God, and I am one with it as the light of God surrounds me. We begin with faith. And faith is an indigo blue color located at the crown of the head. So as you imagine that blue light beginning to glow at the crown of your head, receive this affirmation. The Christ in me now activates faith. I trust God, knowing God's will is for my highest good. I give thanks for the gift of faith. Now we move to strength. Envisioning a pale green light at your lower back area. The Christ in me now activates strength. I am strong and unafraid. Strength surges through me, giving me energy, endurance, and vigor. I give thanks for the faculty of strength. Now we move on to wisdom, which is yellow. So imagining a yellow light at your solar plexus under your rib cage, seeing that yellow light being activated. The Christ in me now activates wisdom and judgment. I perceive beyond appearances, and I am guided by divine intuition into wise and perfect ways. I give thanks for the faculty of wisdom. Moving next to the power of love. Imagining that pink light glowing at your heart center. Feeling that light expanding out from your heart to fill your whole body. The Christ in me now activates love. I am a radiating center of divine love, loved and loving to everyone, including myself. I give thanks for the faculty of love. Next, we move on to power, which is a purple color, and it's located in the throat. So seeing that purple light becoming activated in your throat area. The Christ in me now activates power. My thoughts and words vibrate with spiritual power. I give thanks for the faculty of power. Moving on now to imagination. Seeing a pale blue light appearing and beginning to glow at your forehead. The Christ in me now activates imagination. I see creative, new ways to do what is mine to do. New opportunities to experience God's good are coming into my life. I give thanks for the gift of imagination. Now moving to the front of the head for understanding, seeing a silver light beginning to glow at the front of your head, that light of understanding. The Christ in me now activates understanding. God is present in all situations and in every relationship. The perfect outworking of every situation is being revealed to me now. I give thanks for the faculty of understanding. The next power is will. Imagining a gold light glowing at the center of your head. The Christ in me now activates will. Not my will, but God's will be done in my life. God molds me and uses me as God wills. I give thanks for the faculty of will. Moving down to the belly button for the power of order. Imagining a dark green light beginning to become activated in the belly button area. The Christ in me now activates perfect order. My spiritual path unfolds in its proper sequence. Divine timing and order are now established in my life. I give thanks for the faculty of order. At the back of the head, with the color orange, is where zeal is located. Imagining that power of zeal being activated with an orange light at the back of your head. The Christ in me now activates zeal. I am enthusiastic and excited about life. I feel good pouring through me, and I experience miracles in my life. I give thanks for the faculty of zeal. Moving into elimination now in the lower abdomen with that russet color. Imagining that russet light glowing in the lower abdomen. The Christ in me now activates elimination. I am free of the past and release all false and useless attitudes, emotions, and reactions. I am at one with God and with life. I give thanks for the faculty of renunciation. And finally, we move to the power of life. Envisioning a red glowing light in the reproductive area. Seeing it glowing and bringing forth that energy and that power of life. The Christ in me now activates life. Every cell in my being is charged with the pure, restorative life of God. I give thanks for the faculty of life. So I invite you now to just imagine each of those power centers glowing, activated, bringing forth its energy, its wisdom, its intelligence, so that you are just glowing in every part of your body, all of your 12 powers activated and ready to be used to bring forth your highest good. And we close with the affirmation, there is only one presence and one power, God the good, omnipotent. God and I are one.
Spirit within, carry me Spirit within, carry me home to the one. Spirit within, carry me. Spirit within, carry me home. Spirit within, carry me home to the one.
And so we give thanks that these power centers, these intelligences, these divine attributes have been activated in us today. And we claim them, each and every one of them, as our essential nature, claiming our own divinity so that we might use these powers to bring forth more of God's good in our lives and in the world. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. And you can turn the light back on. Oh, come on, Linda, sing us a song. Yeah. Sing us a song, you're the platform girl.
No, sir. Just put the mic. Use the mic. Yes, bring the mic.
Yes,
There you go.
okay. Even if I don't sing, right? Unity of Monterey Bay is the collective consciousness and commitment of all of us who give of our time, our treasure, and our talent in order to sustain this spiritual community that is dedicated to transforming lives. We know that prosperity is a state of mind that finds blessings in every situation and abundance in joyous generosity. We transform all appearances of fear or lack into faith-filled peace of mind by shifting our attention to thoughts of gratitude for the abundance of God's good in our lives. And before the ushers come forward, when Michelle mentioned that if we want to change our reality, we simply need to change our mind, making it sound easy, by the way, which we know it is not, it did remind me of something funny that happened to me, and I thought I would share it with you because it might bring a smile to you just as it did to me. So I'm in my late 70s. Like a lot of people my age, I'm missing some parts. My appendix, for example, gone a long time ago. A few female parts, which I really don't need at this age. And I've had some parts added. So I have a titanium back, for example. I know that a number of you have titanium knees. I've missed that one so far. And I just learned I'm going, with teeth, this is nothing life-threatening, but I'm going to have some removed and some implants put in, more parts. And I was feeling kind of bummed about this whole thing. And then it occurred to me that I'm being upgraded. And that really what I'm doing is I'm approaching Linda 2.0. And this changed the whole way I felt about the whole thing. They seem more like gifts now. So I thought that might, you might identify with that.
I love that.
And now as the ushers come forward, please think of something you're grateful for. And now with our hearts and minds overflowing with gratitude, we breathe into the divine flow of God's good, trusting that we are enough, and that we have enough, and that there always is enough to both have and to share. For those of you who give online through our website or have set up automatic monthly payments, we're very grateful. This helps us budget. And now as we pass the offering baskets this morning, please hold and bless the basket as it passes to you. And now join me in our offertory blessing. I am an open channel for God's infinite good, divine love flowing through me, blesses and multiplies everything I give and everything I receive. I am both blessed and a blessing. Thank you, God.
Life and wisdom, faith and power, they are mine, yes, they are mine. Strength and order, will and judgment, all are mine, I let them shine. Life and zeal, imagination, they are mine, yes, they are mine. Understanding and forgiveness, all are mine, I let them shine. To the Christ I now surrender, all my faculties divine. Christ now guides them to fulfillment, so to let my true light shine.
That's some old school unity hymns
oldie.
right there. Dusting off the hymnals for that one. So, if the ushers, what's happening? Are you guys coming?
There.
Come forth. Come forth, we ushers. Okay, so it is with great joy that we bless and give thanks for these gifts and offerings that demonstrate our collective commitment to the spiritual work of love and transformation in our lives and in our world. We dedicate this offering, our lives, and this ministry to more fully expressing the Christ light that is the truth of our being, and inviting all people to know God's love. Finally, knowing that one with God all things are possible, we affirm together that the good is now, the rest is blessed, and the best is yet to be in our lifetime.
Gently.
Thanks so much. So I am sorry that I have kept you so long today, but I'm going to make it up to you. If you go downstairs after the service, you will find lunch. There's leftovers from yesterday, and there's sandwiches and all kinds of stuff, and I think Paco has been down there setting it up, so you won't starve today. For our music today, we want to thank Richard McDeachy, Daniel Namod, Denise. Huh? Oh, these aren't the right ones. I was going to say that one's out. Vicky had a very big memorial yesterday, so all right. Well, anyway, you know who you are. Thank you. Well, there was a Denise Rosier song.
Yes.
And I don't know about the other one.
That's okay.
It was
Yeah.
all on the screen, so they've been given their credit. All right. And, of course, thank you to our awesome music team, as always.
Yay.
So, does that mean that these are old announcements? Okay, so I don't know if this is the correct order for announcements. The first one? Can I see what the first one is? Our Unity Prayer class? Okay, our Unity Prayer class has begun, but that doesn't mean it's too late for you to come. You can still come. Please don't worry about having missed the first one. Come to any of them or all of them, but not none of them. So we had a great first class, and we invite you to join us this coming week, 1:30 downstairs. Church of the Wild will be happening on Sunday, January 28th at 2 p.m. If you have questions about what that is, just see me afterwards. And our kids' church is sponsoring a pizza and games night on Friday, March 2nd at 6 p.m. Okay, it says March.
Next month.
It's February. Apologize for that. It's February 2nd, which is really only a couple of weeks away. So pizza and games. That'll be fun. We invite you to join us for that. March 2nd is the Calling the Circle. So this is our... Oh, my goodness. March 3rd, Calling the Circle. It's okay, we forgive her. March 3rd, after the service, is our annual meeting of the whole congregation. So this is when we elect new board members and go over our budget and finances. And this is your opportunity if you have anything that you want to put forth or recommend or share or feedback or whatever. So that will be happening after the service. And then there will be a potluck following. See, if we keep you a long time, we try to feed you. That's how it works around here. All right, with all of that, as we're bringing our service to a close this morning, we are so grateful that you have joined us, whether you're here in person or joining us online. And Miss Martha? Is this you taking things out of the garbage or putting them into? Wow, she's like a little pantomime over here. Okay. Today, highway cleanup after church today. So doesn't matter if you're signed up or not. If the Spirit moves you, you want to go pick up some garbage so that it doesn't end up in our ocean.
And they meet on the Burger King side now.
They meet on the Burger King side of the highway. So now we're doing the westbound side. We've changed. So, okay. If you have questions about that, see Martha. Yeah? Or who?
Or Larry.
Larry. Or Larry. Larry, who is now heading up our highway cleanup team. Yay! All right. We want you to know that wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And our chaplain on duty today is
Larry.
Mr. Larry Sanks is available to pray with you after the service. So we are ready to form our closing circle for our prayer for protection and our peace song.
Oh my God.
It's just one of those days. All good. Yeah, I know. It happens. So, let our hearts be filled with gratitude for this large circle today. Just grateful for each and every one of you who came to share this Sunday morning with us. So, holding all of those in our own hearts this morning, all those on our prayer list, all of those in need of prayer around the world, holding them in this circle, seeing them lifted up by God's loving presence as we join in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Peace